Good morning. This play is called Mr. Gray's Gettysburg, and it's a two-act murder mystery. It's May 9th, 1950, and Mr. John Gray is 68 years old, a successful banker, and wealthy by investments with the Standard Oil Company since 1909. He had just married a young Georgia Belle in her 20s, Tiffany Hopkins, and approximately 10 months after a horrible event. And Mr. Gray wanted to make a silent motion picture of the Confederate Civil War, but he soon was murdered, and his son, Thornton L. was the one who might had murdered his father. And Thornton's a black man, and his mother was black too, when young Mr. Gray, a long time ago, made love in the hay barn. Act 2, Scene 2. The lights slowly rise on the parlor with Mr. Holmes and Colonel Brubaker sitting at the table. I had been handed a telegram sent to me by Mr. Gray as I was dining with the most beautiful and luscious woman in all New Jersey. The messenger boy who brought it stood there loudly reading it to me, saying, "Mr. Gray doesn't give a goddamn about 20-minute moving pictures. He just watched an Italian picture called Quo Vadis, which is a 2-hour picture, and he won't stand for his Gettysburg to be a second shorter. It's to be 9 reels or you're fired." Oh, God. The audacity of that young man. Precisely. Then the little bastard had the nerve to stretch out his measly paw for a tip. Tell me you didn't. I did, but only because my lovely lady found him irresistibly cute. Oh, God. She's an actress, right? Yes. Yeah. In my business, the roads are paved with them. Anyway, I know. Does the Biograph girl ring a bell? You're jesting, sir. Florence Lawrence is no mockery. How did you pull that off? I left the Champion Film Company for a better position at the Victor Company and was hired as an assistant director on her new film. She happened to need a chaperone for lunch while being interviewed by the press, and lucky I was chosen. How did it go? Once the press left, she bashfully went on a tirade about her leading actor's atrocious bad breath. Who was that? All and more. She explained how his garlic stench breath nearly had her fading several times during one of their scenes. She said the doctor had them doing so many takes, she nearly died from asphyxiation. Wasn't his wife Mary Pickford? Yes, and she once confided me her regrets of ever divorcing Douglas Fairbanks for that old drunken bore. Apparently, celebrities have their share of misfortunes too. Changing the subject a bit, I understand D.W. Griffith was chosen over you for this project. Isn't that true? Yes. Mr. Gray refused to pay D.W. his usual inflated fee, and I was easily lifted up from the bargain basement. I'm not ashamed to say I'm a little bit like a backstreet prostitute when it comes to money. Mrs. Gray enters the parlor.
Good evening, gentlemen. Can I refresh your drinks?
Not for me. I want to keep a sober eye on this cheater here.
How about you, Colonel?
No, thank you. I'm good.
I certainly can see that.
Miss Gray's wanting you, Mrs. Tiffany.
Tell him I'm tending to important business.
He's making a fuss, and nothing I say is going to make a bit of difference.
What's troubling him now?
He's pulling his bookshelf apart, searching for his picture script. He says you hid it, and I told him otherwise, but he won't pay any mind to what I say. Mr. Holmes takes a script out of his leather valise and stands up. Allow me to intervene. I have a revised script here for Mr. Gray.
What a chivalrous gesture, sir. Thornton, show Mr. Holmes to John's office so my beautiful home isn't torn to pieces.
Yes, ma'am. I trust you'll keep a watchful eye on him. I believe I'm winning.
Nothing to fear. I won't blink until you return, sir.
No offense, Richard, but I was taught to never let a fox near a hen house. Mr. Holmes follows Thornton. Mrs. Gray slowly moves to the Colonel.